Again, those are the new, or I want to remind those that are from before. If I talk too fast, go like this, okay? If you need me to repeat, okay, just go like this, and I'll repeat what I just said. If you need me to further explain, please ask, okay? Because I think your time is valuable. It's Saturday. You could be home with your families, okay? My time is valuable. I could be watching TV, okay? So let's take the time and use it to the best ability. Let's use this. We're going to talk about today a culture of failure. Okay? I think Tom needs another copy. We have another copy? Thank you. When I began talking to you guys today, I said, if you haven't been part of the trainings, I want to apologize, because this will be a very challenging training. The first thing I want you to do is, if you normally write with your right hand, please write with your left hand your name, your full name. So write with the opposite hand. Kind of hard, huh? And it's your name that you've been writing since you were a little child. Okay? You have to stop and think about it. It looks not as neat. Okay? You usually have these nice little, Vietnamese have beautiful penmanship, but when you write with the opposite hand, but if you lost the hand you usually write with, you'd have to change, huh? You'd have to learn to use the other hand, or you broke your hand, right? All of a sudden, you've got to do the opposite. Today we're going to lunch, and I'm going to ask you to eat with the opposite hands with your chopsticks. Okay? So you can look like Westerners with chopsticks, okay? But I want you to get the idea of what change is about. It is uncomfortable. It looks messy. You have to think about it. And it's so much easier either to give up, or just say, I can't eat like this, which you'll be tempted, or to go back to the old way of doing things. Now, writing, of course, eat with, write with your normal hand. Eat with your normal hand. But I want you to think about the example and think about it. Often we say, weird. Oh, that's weird. Okay? Eating with the other hand is weird. I want to talk about a story I read in a book, or I heard a speaker talk about weird versus different. I'm working off different notes than you guys, so if I miss the word that you need, let me know. He is an author, and Andy Andrews is the author, and he's written many good books, but he's written one for children. And he's a very good leadership author, very good. He was going on a vacation with his children, and he put some children's books into their backpacks. Okay? And they said, hey, he goes, when you see some young kids, give it to them. You know, so they were at the airport, and he pointed out some kids, and he got busy doing something else. You know, they went the whole vacation, and they came home, and he's helping them unpack and bring their things in from the car, and he looks at the backpacks are still full of books. And he goes, "Why didn't you give away books?" They go, "Dad, that was weird. That's weird to give them away, to go up to kids I don't know. It's not comfortable to change." And he goes, "No, that's just different. Weird is if I got up, jumped around 5 times in circles, and then walked up and said, 'You have to read this.' That would be weird, okay? If I jumped up, ran around in circles, twisting around, and then came to him and said, 'Take this book,' that would be weird, okay? But to ask someone to do something differently, to change, it's not weird, it's just different. See, we have spent most of our lives trying to belong, to be like what we see people to be like. You know, we want to be successful. We've talked about it in the past. Okay, let me get back to my notes. So we need a culture that gives us the freedom to change. Freedom is the word, to change, to try new things. We need that culture that gives us the freedom to change, to try new things, new ideas. You know, I don't have all the good ideas. You know, we met with the Department of Foreign Affairs of Guangdong yesterday. And I was disappointed, I was sad, and I was just like, and he talked about an INGO, an international organization, that came in and built compassion homes for families. But the homes they built were so out of the ordinary that the families never moved in. Okay? See, the INGO had an idea, but they didn't look to see other ideas. They weren't open. He said they just didn't, families didn't move in. You know, I like to use the word grow or go. Use it or lose it. We need, as an organization, to continue to grow. We can't grow unless you guys take a personal challenge upon yourselves and decide to grow. Many of you have. In fact, I'd say all of you have made some changes and have found ways to grow. What my hope is that you would pick something up inside of you that says, you know, I got 10 minutes. Let me read something. You know, that rule of 5. Okay, I'm going to give them 5 minutes. I'm going to think for 1 minute. I'm going to read for 1 minute. I'm going to meditate for 1 minute. You know, drink water for 1 minute. I don't know. You know, but pick up some things that will help you to make some changes. If use it or lose it. You know, I think I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, with our reading, learning. If we don't with our reading or learning, if we don't
A place where failing is not only the first one,
a place where failing is not only accepted but encouraged. I mean, how would that be? A place where failing is not only accepted but encouraged. Is that weird or is that different? Okay? Without that, we will maintain, okay? In other words, if we don't have a place for failure, we will continue getting good at what we do and not have anything different. Okay, the problem is society, culture, the country is changing, the needs are changing. There's kids that are talking about problems that you guys had the same problems, but you never dare talk about. Okay? But can there be such a thing as maintenance? Let's just maintain. Let's just keep it all, giving it back to kids, going the same thing. Can there be such a thing? I don't think so. That's where, I'm sorry, I did get ahead of myself. Grow or go. Okay? If we don't continue to grow and change, we will lose it. Okay? We will lose what we have. We will lose ground. There's organizations that have been in Vietnam that were here when I first got here. They have no influence into the country. You know, I am blown away with some of the reports I'm hearing from the emotional health, the soft skills, the sex education, the anti-trafficking, and the requests that we have of, you know, the GLS training possibly in Quang Nam University in April. You know, these things, that's big deals. You know, we talk about transforming a nation and changing a culture. That sounds good. Do you think it's easy? But you guys are doing it. Slowly. Actually, a lot faster than I thought. I'm a little scared, to be honest with you. Okay? How do I keep up with this? So in other words, can there be such a thing as maintenance? Can we just keep it the same as it's always been? Life keeps changes. If not, I got another example. Without our reading, learning, if we don't continue to learn or change, we begin to forget what we learned and fall back to old ways. Okay? With our reading, learning, okay, we read a book and go, oh, that's so good. If we don't implement it, we go back to what was comfortable. Eating chopsticks with the normal hand. Okay? If we don't continue to learn or change, we begin to forget what we learned and fall back to old ways. I bet you, all of you have graduated from university, I bet you, even your final university exams, if you took them today, you would not do as well. Okay? All right? Because you stopped studying the things that you studied. You know, maybe some of the teachers, maybe not, because some of the things, but you understand the point I'm making. Okay? I had a great example. You know, I used to work out a lot, go to the gym a lot. And I thought, you know, I got busy. I've made 4 trips to Vietnam and since June. I 2 fishing trips, trip to Chicago. My knee was hurting, my shoulder was hurting. Okay, I haven't been to the gym, but you know, I felt like, now my clothes were getting tighter, okay? But you know, I still felt like I have some muscle, right? I went into the gym when the first day I got back here, and I was shocked at how much less I could lift, how many less sit-ups I could do. You know, I thought, well, I'm doing pretty good walking, you know, on the treadmill, because I walk a lot. This is the thoughts that was going on in my head. I'm doing pretty good until I looked at it and I could see it was kilometers, not miles. Okay? I was walking half the speed I used to walk at on a treadmill. Okay, what happened? I wasn't using it. If you don't use a muscle, if you don't continue to grow, continue to learn, you start to fall backwards. It's just the way it is. You know, think of a piece of fruit on a tree, right? As long as it's connected, it's still growing, right? But what happens when you pick it or it falls off? Just let it sit there, it deteriorates and dies. It becomes spoiled. Okay, so we need to learn to celebrate some mistakes. to celebrate some mistakes, as long as they are not repeated mistakes and they are areas of new growth. I mean, if someone continues to make the same mistake over and over again, and it's not something new that they're trying, I don't know if we need to tolerate that. You know, we need to say, hey, figure this out or find a new job. You know, but we need to learn to celebrate mistakes. Is that crazy stuff? To me it is, okay? I mean, when I read, I go, huh? Van Pham, how do you like mistakes? You hate it, right? No. There's no room for mistakes. Van Nguyen, same thing. No, I need to know. Exactly. Don't tell me mistakes, okay? Change? No. Here, tell me exactly, okay? We need to learn to celebrate some mistakes as long as they're not repeated mistakes and they're areas of growth. Also, celebrate small wins along the path. Okay? I'm going to talk more about mistakes as we get on with this. But you know, we want to celebrate the small wins. You know, too often